So who cares about all this activism bullshit? Is the world really going to end tomorrow if I throw my Apple core in the garbage? Will my car be the one that finally causes the governing forces of our planet to just say fuck it and send us all hurling into Mad Max? Those garbage cans that are divided into newspaper, into recycling, into compost are so annoying. Why do we even bother? I gotta say, staying committed to constantly making a stink about the world around us can take a lot of work. Because these days it seems like you have to worry for all of the other people who maybe don't care as much as you do. Sure, there are all of those activists that sit on pipelines and square off against the police, but I'm not like them. There may be times when a subtle, or not so subtle, feeling of dread makes me think I'm like them, but they're radicals, right? Although it can be very difficult to tell from these rhetorical questions and my flawless poker face, I'm hiding a little bit of genuine concern. Actually, a lot of genuine concern. It seems like every year is the new hottest year. Extinction rates are soaring, and more snow keeps falling on Vancouver. This was written before this weekend, by the way. And I do sometimes sympathize with those radical activists, not the really radical ones that are blowing shit up and stealing people's cats, but the people who do get out there in the trenches and speak their minds. I think they do a pretty good job at saying how fucked we are, but even so, I'm still hesitant to act for whatever reason. Is it because being an activist, even at a small level, can be a pain in the ass? Again, those garbage cans have been the source of a lot of headaches. Is it some sort of fear of the man that I would get ridiculed for speaking out against standard practices at school, at work, or in society in general? It sometimes seems like if someone is willing to listen to you, it's only to disregard you later. I think people really underestimate the importance of their opinions in changing norms. There's this feeling, a feeling we'll be talking about a lot tonight, that change needs to happen in a big way, all at once. There's a sense of urgency that honestly makes the whole process demoralizing, especially when you see people who aren't as committed as you are. Honestly, this way of thinking is being too hard on yourself. Let me tell you a story. When I was a precocious high school student, I took a job at my local grocery store, obviously to pay for presents for my many girlfriends that I totally had. I remember being unnerved by the amount of recyclable material that was thrown in the garbage every night. And although I brought it up a few times in passing, I found that I became discouraged when nobody bothered to buy those 2 fucking blue bins. But I never bothered to buy the bins myself, so who was I to judge? I figured that everyone would roll their eyes and tell me to quit being so difficult, that it was no big deal and I was irritating people. Hey, I was in high school. Don't pretend that you were such a beacon of self-confidence back then either. But, one day I came into work and those bins were there. I walked up to my supervisor and he simply said some words that have inspired me ever since. Jesus, kid, you got your bins. Will you shut up finally? This encouraging remark, and it is encouraging in a way, made me realize that if I made the point of bringing up an issue constantly, someone would eventually listen. And when someone listens, change happens, hopefully. Sure, it's small, and summers are still getting hotter, but it gives me hope that change will happen if we are willing to hold out. Maybe if we are resilient enough, we might be able to annoy some of these important people into making changes for the better. Thank you.